end of this block. I live on this end, and on the other end is the fire chief. Right in front of his house, traffic calming was put in. That's one of the things I want to talk about. One of the fire trucks can't even make it around that corner. They have to take a different route. I don't think any of them try that corner anymore. It's too difficult. Traffic calming is this stupid business here where they bulge the sidewalks out into the street, take away parking, cause people to hit the sidewalks, damage their cars, and a whole lot more. Let me show you the other thing. This is a roundabout, which I suppose they have their place. This is definitely not one of the places they should be in a quiet what used to be a quiet residential subdivision. One day I was in the driveway right here taking something out of my car, and I heard these terrified screams from right over here. The hedge wasn't there then, so people could look across my yard and see what was around the corner here pretty much, and then just, they would take the corner. Well, it's not really a corner anymore. They've rounded all these corners, so people take them at a pretty fair clip now. But they were in the sidewalk, a mother and 3 small children, and they were screaming and waving their arms in the air because a guy had looked across my yard, and much like an elderly driver looks at a motorcycle and doesn't see him and pulls out right in front of him, this guy looked across my yard, didn't see them for some reason, and went flying around this corner, and not realizing the crosswalk is way down there now. He came very close to hitting that family. He stopped just before the crosswalk. They were terrified. Now, one of the noisiest neighbors we've got here, he's trimming some trees now. There was a time when a sidewalk, was not really right in the traffic path. That you could take a step off the sidewalk if people weren't stopping, and that would force them to stop. But what we have now, instead of, that kind of situation, and, where you were reasonably safe, you're not safe anymore. Let me show you what they're doing now, if you haven't seen one already. And I'll tell you some stories about what happened here. This has been in here for a couple of years now, like maybe 3 to 4 years. See what they've done. Now I'm going to look at the intersection, looking south. So what they've done is they bulged this sidewalk out into the traffic lane here. The traffic lane now is, as you can see, very narrow. In fact, I tried to do this video yesterday, but I was cut short. But when I was standing right here, 2 vehicles hit that sidewalk. A newer Ford pickup and a small red car that was also a very late model. I kept that video just in case someone wants to see it. Anyways, this sign right in front of me, this yellow one here, was taken out twice in a 24-hour period. They replaced it one afternoon. That night it was knocked down again. And I'll show you where the damage is done on the other ones. I don't know if anybody's done it on this one. Oh yeah, they have. You can see right here. You see that mark? You see where the sign is? Over to the left. There's the road over there. So this is obviously, this mark came from one of the vehicles that took the sign out. But the point is, if you look at this sidewalk here and just take a look at all these tire marks, these are from vehicles that have either bounced off the sidewalk or hit it and gone up over it. Last week, a municipal pickup towing a trailer, he forgot the trailer was wider than the truck, and it went up and over the sidewalk. So think about, if you're standing there and that happens, never mind putting your foot out to, make traffic stop. Just think how dangerous it is even standing on this sidewalk now because of what they've done. We had 2 stop signs, maybe a couple of crosswalk signs. I can't remember what was here before. Now we've got a sea of signs. We've got 20 of them, 6, 7 islands. They were supposed to take out this median that goes for 3 blocks, and they sent us a letter, and that was years ago. They've never done it. I don't know why. They didn't tell us that. No warning was given before they put this roundabout business in here. I don't know what this cost, maybe 30 grand, 40 grand, judging by the length of time they were here and all the trucks and flag people and everything else. Anyway, here's one of the most dangerous things they've got here. This tiny traffic island that they've put opposite my driveway. Look at this thing. You know? I don't know what the point of that is. Anyhow, 2 vehicles were totaled. And I don't use the term lightly. Remember, that was part of my duties at ICBC, determining whether vehicles were total losses. I did, well, a few hundred at least of those. And I used to rebuild write-offs before I went to work for ICBC in the shops I worked at. So here is this opposite my driveway. So they've taken away half our access. No offer of compensation, of course. We can't make a right turn. Going forward, we can't turn right out of the driveway. And if we want to back out and head east, we have to back out to my left and then go around this roundabout thing. See, there we go. You know, we got a noise bylaw in Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge in 1968, and the RCMP did a great job of, giving out tickets for that kind of thing. Now we have a bylaw enforcement officer. So, hell, you don't even need a muffler here anymore. You cut the thing off and throw it away. Anyway, 2 weeks ago, my wife was leaving. She took my little Mercedes here. It's a small hatchback Mercedes. And I noticed before that she was backing out to turn to what would be my left right now. And I said to her, you know, this is a very dangerous intersection now. I don't think you should be doing that. So when she left that morning, I looked out the window to see if she would again. And sure enough, here she is backing up. You know, she had gotten past that little island and was backing a little bit across the other lane before she could make her turn to, like I say, to my left. A car from the next block, I see it all the time, an old Ford Fiesta, came. They don't have to stop anymore. She came flying around that corner. She made a quick judgment that she could get behind my wife, without hitting her. So that's what she did. She stepped on the gas. My wife was still backing up, looking to both sides so carefully, and this car went flying behind her. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with ICBC's rule. Both cars are moving, one's backing up. That one is 100% at fault, just because they're backing up. This woman made a bad judgment. There's sometimes you, even though you're in an awkward position that you shouldn't have been in, somebody just can't come along and run into you. And this is almost what happened. Yet, my wife would have been at fault. So I said to her that night, I said, I saw what you did this morning. I said, you didn't even see that car until after it sneaked past you. And she said, yeah, that's right. So she hasn't done it since. We'll see what happens there. 2 vehicles were also totaled on that. Now these signs are not embedded in the concrete. There's a bigger pipe that they slip into. And that bigger pipe is very strong, very thick, and it sticks up about 6 inches above the island. So when somebody hits that, if they knock the sign down, doesn't do too much damage to their car, but that lower piece rips right through the undercarriage at the front, all the valuable stuff. One night after it snowed, a Toyota Prius, a taxi of all things. I mean, taxi drivers can't even maneuver through here when it snows. Yeah, there's another junk that's always driving around here. See? You don't need a muffler here. So anyhow, the Prius, the taxi, was totaled. Just ripped through the whole front end of that, and I know that vehicle had been around for quite a few years. Before they had time to replace the sign, it kept snowing. And that night about 1:30, I heard a big bang crunch, and I looked out, and a Volvo had run over that traffic island. And I know it was severe damage. I know that car was totaled as well. And the reason I know that is because it made it, that piece of pipe sticking out of the concrete, made it all the way to the engine and ripped the bottom of the engine out because there was oil everywhere. And I know how the cars are built, so I know that one was a goner as well. So all that oil went down the storm sewer, which is right around the